What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Aiden and today we're watching Black Sails, episode 2. Last episode was great, although very heavy in world building. We were introduced to a lot of the characters that will probably play a part in this show quite a bit. But saying that, it's not that big of a deal. It's something a lot of novel-based shows have to go through, right? You've got years and years of information you've got to try and get everyone caught up on. And I've had a few comments on the last episode saying the same thing. Please stick with it because it gets so much better as things go on. Someone said once you get into season 3 and 4, it's the best show ever. So, it's high praise. So, just to remind myself, I'm going to do a quick recap of what went down on the previous episode. It's been a week since I watched, so. The episode started off with a naval battle between one crew and what turned out to be Captain Flint's crew. Obviously, based on their performance, they are not to be trifled with. Started off with a cannon battle, and then they obviously boarded, using their powder kegs to blow them out of the deck. Kind of blow them out of their cubby hole, Later on in the episode, we found out the reason why Captain Flint chose that ship specifically. He was looking for captain's logs, which would lead them to a mega treasure galley, which is rumoured to be worth over 5 million Spanish dollars, which is going to be a major take for that gang. So I wonder if that's going to be the focus of just this season, or is that like the overall arcing theme of the show, trying to get this big score? Because obviously he doesn't have the schedule yet, so that's what he's going to be working on. John Silver, one of the characters who was originally on the first ship, he has that page. So they're going to end up connecting in some way, I imagine. Unless John goes off into his own crew. So pretty much we got one side, and then we've got Captain Vane, who had that bit of a scuffle with, what's her name? Eleanor? Is it Eleanor? Blonde woman. Yeah, Captain Vane. He is going to end up with that information, since that prostitute is now trying to at least sell it onto their crew. So now we're probably going to have this massive rivalry between the crew that used to be the best and the crew that are now are the best. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of figure that out. Do they end up working together? Probably not, because it is such a big prize. And obviously the government are on their tracks anyway, as we saw from the major galleon showing up at the end of that original battle. And then later on, they ended up having to fight their way out of the plantation. In the previous episode, there definitely was a lot of nudie scenes. Pretty much every scene had at least a pair of tits. Which, it is what it is. I'm not opposed to it, but it is a bit awkward to have people watching me watch it, It's not natural. If you enjoy this episode, make sure you leave a thumbs up and comment down below what you thought of it. The main reason I wanted to do this channel in the first place was to have the conversation, so I'm always happy to chat with you. If you're interested in the full-length reactions to this show and any of the other shows and movies that I watch, you can find my Patreon link in the description below. These episodes will ideally be out a few weeks ahead of the YouTube schedule. So if you, for some reason, want to get access to them, then, you know, it's there for you. No worry if you don't want to anyway, it's just an extra thing. Alright, let's get on to this show. So the intro to this show is actually really cool, with the sea shanty and the ivory statuettes. It kind of looks like the Daredevil, Netflix's Daredevil's intro, just a less bloody version. Okay, so they spent the night. Literally the first scene. Okay, alright. I've just got to accept the fact that that's what the show is.
When my father still lived here, this place was a fucking mess. Men just fucked in tents, threw their shit in the streets. Wonder if he didn't notice everyone living like animals, or if he just didn't care.
Probably a bit of both, really. Why would you care? As long as he's still making his money.
Finally, all is right again in Nassau.
You say this as if it is certain.
It kind of is certain.
Perhaps you can buy this place. Nassau would need an inn. Max could be your partner.
I mean, yeah, you can still buy the place, but at the end of the day, people are going to rain down on it eventually. Civilization is coming, regardless of what you want. To be fair, as Eleanor seems to be the most civilized out of the whole bunch, really. At least she's well put together, you know.
Perhaps you may be a little
Looks after herself, at least. Right. Okay. My kind of woman.
Where is he? Says he wants to be the first one, Flint.
See, both of the episodes so far haven't missed a beat with the bushes.
Masters in the tent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more about this rival gang. They definitely seem a lot more rugged than Captain Flint's. In certain ways. Obviously, you had Singleton, who was savage incarnate, you know. Oh, Quartermaster knows, yeah. Did he do the right thing? It's hard to tell. If anything, though, him doing that to save Captain Flint's skin has kind of won him over. He's now one of the higher ups, at least.
You shouldn't steal. That's what happens.
Jesus Christ. They're just pissing on him.
Not now.
Oh, what? That's knobheads. Just slice the cocks off. Surely there's some level of respect, you know. You've already done the damage. Why carry on?
Well, it can't be one of our men. How would they have known to look for it? And the men taken from the prize were all searched.
What?
The cook.
No.
In the armory, standing over a dead body. Said it was suicide.
Did you search him?
Oh shit. Shit. They're coming to get him. They're coming to get him. He's gonna jump in the water. God, this is gonna be a mess. Thing is, though, he didn't steal it from them. That's the difference. Jump in, jump in. He's gonna have to. Oh, belly flop. That's a bit painful. Jesus Christ.
Really want to get laid.
You've been busting for months. Now we got it the other day, didn't he?
So, Max, what happened to you?
She worked late with the ranger crew.
Noonan know about this. He's just gonna let it go.
50 pieces they paid her. That's worth a few nicks to the hull, wouldn't you say?
So I imagine that's probably quite popular in this kind of scenario. You know, you're paying someone to do those kind of acts to you. You feel like you've got serious leverage over them. You know, you push them around and whatnot. Because I mean, what are you going to do? What are they going to do? You're paying so much money. And I imagine in this time, the prostitutes are kind of interchangeable in the sense. You know, swap them out as soon as one stops serving to the top standard, you know. Sad, but probably true.
It seems that Captain Flint has for weeks been chasing a piece of information that would enable the bearer to know the precise whereabouts of the Spanish treasure galleon, Urca de Lima.
And you know this how?
Because the thief who stole it from him has offered to sell it to me.
You met this person?
His agent. The thief's too smart to show us his face. He's asking 5,000 pesos for a chance at 5 million.
It does sound kind of fake, really, doesn't it? Yeah, some fake scribbles.
Well, I doubt the crew will share your sentiments with what they stand to gain. Unless you have a score of your own to present.
It's true, but as we know, this Captain Vade isn't one to screw around with. He'll just slaughter you without a second thought. Oh no, they came after him as well. There's just going to be a chase on the island. Get going, you've got at least another minute or so.
Hey, friend, can you point me to the blacksmith? Where to the butcher? In the square. I need a new shirt. Anybody know where the cook went?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, John Silver's smart, yeah. Really sends them on a treasure hunt. A literal treasure hunt. Since they're after the page.
I want to fuck, Max. Max. I want to fuck.
You know the rules.
It's not fair.
Very unenthusiastic. I don't know how it even works.
What are you doing?
Apologies. Outside!
You just stand around. I mean, it didn't exactly look like a great time, did it? No one's enjoying it. Give a man his space.
You fucked me.
There's no need to panic. We can still make the deal and...
And then what? When a man is being fucked, he wants to know whose cock was in him.
True. But by...
I mean, I'd assume you'd at least know who the cock was. So is that a bit bigger relationship than just a paid service, or...
My crew hasn't been given the same kind of information from you about potential prizes that we once did. That others currently do receive.
You've noticed that, have you?
I believe it to be personal.
It is personal, mate.
You wish to be rewarded for it.
Flint's so weak he needed protection from you, and I'm the poor investment.
From where I sit, you coming here means one of two things.
Desperate.
Either you're under the illusion that with Flint gone, I have no other choice than to give you what you want. Or you think because you and I used to fuck, you can cross me without any consequences.
I'd say it's closer to the second, to be honest. I mean, that is true. I'm surprised he didn't really think about that himself, you know. Even just from the business side of things, he really did fuck her over the other day. Trying to undermine Captain Flint. Yeah, you've got your personal business with him, but it's still not great. This is obviously just a massive cock-waddling competition, right?
Flint baited him into that fight, then he killed him. That's not going too far.
Singleton was no saint.
That's not the point. The point is I lied to my own crew to protect the captain.
You lied to protect the crew. You saw the Scarborough, mate. You know what's coming. We can't thieve forever.
Yeah, you need to take that big score and get the fuck out of that water forever. How do you know exactly to be looking here for that piece of information? So I imagine he is a spider anyway, so he probably gets access to all sorts of tips.
Sure I can't suck your cock while you do that?
Thank you.
Use my hand? Sing you a song? Something worth paying money for?
Might as well while you're at it.
Fucking
A peeper.
My father's under arrest.
A fugitive, technically. I have him on the walrus. He was injured in the escape.
Oh, that is her father, the guy who he took.
Captain, we are finished here.
Under normal circumstances, I'd agree with you. However,
However, what?
Let me tell you a story about a Spaniard named Vasquez.
So I'm guessing Eleanor's going to be on board with the $5 million Spanish dollar heist, you know. Is that going to help them get out of their business? I imagine it's probably still a lot of money for them, isn't it? Is he really going to kill her? No! No! Is that in his eye? No way. That didn't get his eye, did it? It did get him. He just pierced his eye. That's... For fuck's sake. That is gruesome, if that's the case.
but with the money I stripped from the Hulk, we could add 50 guns to the fort. We could build ships to defend our shores and train new men to sail them.
A full blown out war of land. It is kind of living in Candyland, you know, in the clouds.
Does not begin to describe how I am feeling.
If there's to be a war, that would be wide.
His scars on his cheeks are very strange. Got 3 strikes on each. So at first glance, I thought it was makeup from the last episode, but I don't think it is.
The Urka's schedule was taken from me.
When were you planning on mentioning that?
Everything's under control. We're close to recovering it.
Vane just met with Fraser at the brothel. I assume he's the buyer.
Oh, does she know that it's going to be... What's the face? Yeah, she does. That's probably why he went extra rough on her. Knowing that she is a partner or whatever to Eleanor.
Max,
I'm glad you are here.
Max,
I
okay.
was going to send
Okay.
word for you. You and I have a decision to make, and it must
I need
be
to
made
try and
right
remember
now.
that.
I'm about to receive a great deal of money for a service I provided.
Max, I need you to give me the schedule. Flint's schedule.
Your father left you. Your mother was taken from you. Everyone you have ever loved, you have lost, and it terrifies you. But not me. I will never, ever leave you. I love.
What happens when that $5,000 dries up? This relationship's over. You just can't do it. It's not realistic. She might want to do that. Finally be free, but it's just...
Max, please.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I meant what I said. I can protect you.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, she's throwing her life away. Throwing her toys out the pram. For 5,000. But again, no, she didn't want protection. She wanted to leave the place. So Eleanor and a prostitute out on a boat alone, trying to survive the world that's full of these kind of people anyway. That was never going to be a good plan.
Frightened, Jack.
Please. There's nothing in there but opium addicts, lunatics, men who thought themselves too good to wear a condom.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really think they even had condoms this far back. I mean, what are they even made of? I think they used to be made of like sheepskin, didn't they? Not sheepskin, sheep intestine. But I definitely thought that was a bit earlier than that. Or later than that, sorry.
No. I want him out of here.
Captain,
And now you can hear me! You want your money, you show your fucking face!
Captain, I'm afraid our friend out there has all the leverage in this particular situation. Now, we can rail and shout and stamp our feet, but it doesn't change the fact that unless we give this fellow the credit...
Yeah, okay, oh, you little fucking cunt. Someone needs to go slit his neck.
Now! Come out here and face me! Or these pearls go back where they belong!
Now, why would he come out and face you now? You've already proven you're not a trustworthy individual.
He said you give me the pearls.
He's not going to react well to that. Shit. Now it's a battle of the two groups. Both trying to go after John. Running along the rocks as well. There's no way that goes wrong, right? Oh, that's a good idea. Joining the opium addicts. It's probably likely just going to run past, right? Or are you going to burn it? If he's the only one that has the information, right? They can't kill him because he's the one who knows the stuff. That's a good idea. No. Oh my god. It just fell off into the water, okay. Looks like he's out for the count. Yeah, Captain Bain's not going to help him, is he? If anything, he's the guy who's got the thorn in his side.
For the sake of my survival.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Smart.
Your schedule is up here.
Yeah, so they really do need him now. He's won his space on the fleet.
Vane can't get to you here.
I know. But I cannot stay.
There's a bit of a overreaction, I feel like. yeah, just distracting it so she can just escape out. It's just not a good idea. Actually, thick for thinking she could just leave like that.
Meet our thief.
Why is he still alive?
It's a long story. Do you mind if we stash him here for the night? So he can stand guard.
And he's part of the gang. He's drowning her sorrows. Rightfully so, but she did the right thing, I think. For the sake of everyone. So I wonder what she's actually drinking. It's a strong whiskey. Or rum. Like, traditional pirate themed show definitely has to have rum. Although I'm not a massive fan of it, but I'm definitely more of a whiskey guy myself. Where's he off to then? Middle of the night, wrapped up so no one knows him. Oh, is it his lover? Hidden away on the island. That's cool though. Someone for him to come home to, I'm guessing. Or was it family?
Take off your boots. I'll boil some water.
Just collapsed into his home. It's finally safe. So the one place he's comfortable being himself. Well, I suppose that's perfectly fitting, really, isn't it? It's probably the same for a lot of people. When you're out and about, you're always on edge. Or at least, I am at least. There's no spot when you're out where you can just be yourself 100%. He's at home with the one person he truly can trust. I mean, even on the ships, yeah, he's the captain, and people, I'd imagine, look up to him. But given any opportunity, each and every single one of them would put a knife in his back to take over, you know. Okay, so that was Black Sails Season 1, Episode 2. And yeah, it was, for me at least, it was definitely an improvement over Episode 1. So yeah, Episode 1 was great. We got that awesome naval scene. But on this one, yes, it was still a lot of character building and developing of, you know, certain story. It was interesting because I guess, you know, I'm already kind of attached to, or getting attached to, some of the characters. I mean, most of this episode seemed to revolve around that missing page, the schedule from the captain's log. It seems by the end of this episode, all of the main characters are kind of involved into that story, which is interesting, really. Usually shows branch off quite quickly, don't they? See, my favourite characters right now, it would definitely be John Silver and Eleanor Guthrie. See, Eleanor seems like the most level-headed character in the show. You know, she's got her wits about her. You know, she can joke around, not take some things too seriously. But then she can also be, you know, straight down to business. She knows what she's doing. Also seems to have a good understanding of how to handle some of these people. You know, I imagine in this world where she's surrounded by these rough and tumble characters who, as we've seen, like Captain Vane, her previous lover, would just slit your throat for the fun of it. he's not exactly a nice man to deal with. But especially in that scene when he plodded along asking for mercy, in a sense, trying to fix their business relationship. Or was he trying to get back in bed with her because he wanted to get access to the better jobs? I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure. But she handled it well, really put him in his place. He really does have a strange way about him, doesn't he? That Captain Vane. He's very odd. He doesn't seem to have a good handle of his crew. From the sounds of it, they're a bunch of wild men and women. They can't be trusted, you know, they destroy a lot of stuff, costing the New Providence more money than they do bring in, even though they are one of the biggest earners, on paper at least. Yeah, her relationship with Max has definitely seemed to dwindle over the course of this episode. They went from sleeping together at the beginning of the episode, you know, Max flashing her a bush, but by the end of it, it's completely broken down. Obviously, once Eleanor understood the importance of the page based on Captain Flint's descriptions of what he wants to do with the money once he gets to that boat, if he gets to that boat, she decided that it's probably best for her to try and get that page. Max was so stubborn with it though. Like, more so than she needed to be. She didn't want to give up the page, which, okay, kind of understandable. Even though the reality is, you'd probably have more to gain by giving up that page than to sell it off for 5,000. Because Eleanor definitely seems to appreciate her presence, you know. So there's no way Eleanor's just going to let her rot here. No, she'd be practically a princess. She's kind of just given up that potential life. Instead of giving up the page, her answer was to try and run away with Eleanor. Take the 5,000, or your split of the 5,000, and get on a rowboat or whatever. You're not really going to get anything bigger than that for 5,000, I'd imagine. And just try and travel the world, I guess. But like I said during the reaction, it doesn't exactly seem like a smart decision. You know, as we saw in the scene with Max and Captain Vane, she didn't exactly hold her own very well, did she? Pretty much whatever he wanted to do to her was going to happen. So now she thinks she's going to thrive well on a boat, on her own. No. This is not how the world works. As much as you might want it to, it's just not. Captain Flint and the gang, meaning Billy, is it Billy Bones? Billy Badass Bones, I don't know. And the quartermaster have all figured out now that the person who had the schedule was in fact John Silver. They realised that he was the only person on the boat that they kept, and thinking back about it, they found him standing over a corpse, pretending to be the cook. It led to a pretty intense scene. John just belly flopping into the sea. God, that's going to be painful. It's so painful. His decision at the end, though, was very, very smart, I think. He realised the error in his ways. Captain Vane was not going to allow him to live peacefully, was he? end of the day, he was going to end up taking that schedule and then not giving the pearls. He's proved him once, twice, 3 times, however many times in this show alone, in these 2 episodes, that he can't be trusted. So he would have just slit John's throat in the first place. And then once Captain Flint's crew caught up, John decided to quickly stow away for a little bit, consume the content of that schedule, and then burn it. Because at the end of the day, now he is the most important key to finding that treasure galleon. If they get rid of him, purposefully or by accident, they are fucked. Because that's how he's going to do it. He's not just going to give them all the information right away, is he? It's going to be a drip feed, a slow burn, until they get the money, he gets his slice, and he leaves. Or fucks them over altogether. So he's the one with that information. He's worth up to 5 million himself, isn't he? Very cool though. Very, very cool. As a continuation of last episode, this episode was obviously filled with a lot of nude scenes. Hey, I'm getting used to it. Okay, anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and again, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this episode. Okay, peace.